All right, let's talk some hard numbers. Every week, Signal highlights some global hard numbers defining our world. So today, let's kick off with 87.
So 500 days into Trump's presidency, his approval rating among Republicans is 87%. That is the second highest own party approval rating for a president since World War II. The only one that is higher than that was George W. Bush's approval rating among Republicans in the wake of 9/11.
Fascinating. He has continued not only to strengthen the base and to consolidate the Republican Party. The question, of course, becomes, is this Trump's Republican Party, or does the Republican Party is now Trump?
Well, he has refashioned the party in his image. I mean, it's an extraordinary, for someone with no background in politics, he has the most sophisticated understanding of politics of anyone we've seen in a generation. He has reshaped one of the traditional parties of America. And I think one of the big questions is, can the Republican Party continue to, are there fissures within the kind of base that is kind of defining the party now, and the sort of Republicans who have misgivings about Trump's approach? Will the Republican Party split over the next couple of years? Who knows? But for now, Trump is doing an excellent job of keeping his base aligned, and that, something we got to watch going into the midterms.
I wonder, though, if part of it has to do with the fact that not only perhaps is Trump a good student of Republican Party politics, but the media. He's a very good student of the media, having come from the media world. And when he launches those tweets, for a lot of people, people hold their heads in their hand and they go, oh my God, this is the President of the United States, and he's tweeting all sorts of things. He knows that news organizations, media organizations are going to chase all these individual tweets. They're going to be outraged and they're going to bluster, and that is only going to solidify his base. And in watching the tea leaves, Republican Party leaders know that they will live and die politically by that base.
That's absolutely right. I mean, Republicans, people say, well, why aren't the Republicans standing up to Trump, who's breaking all these norms of American governance and all these things? These people are listening to their voters.
Right. It's not about what the media thinks. It's about what those people who are going to vote think. Yeah.
Exactly. And as you say, Trump's very effective at using that.
Yeah. All right. 20.
So last week, U.S. cable news channels devoted 20 times as much coverage to Roseanne Barr's tweet scandal as they did to this, in my view, much more important story about Puerto Rico, in which a new report said that up to 5,000 Puerto Ricans who are U.S. citizens were killed as a result of Hurricane Maria last year. It was an astounding kind of imbalance in coverage. But look, I think what it tells you is that the American public is sort of on this outrage IV, right?
Right.
And it raises a big question about whether the media is covering the right things at the right times, right? Clearly, the death of 5,000 American citizens as a result of government negligence is a bigger story, in my view, than a tweet scandal, right?
I would think that it should be not just for the president, not just for members of Congress, but for the American people. It should be a big deal. And I wonder, part of me wonders if this had happened on the mainland, and if the people killed weren't necessarily brown, that this would be
inconceivable that this imbalance would have been so great in that case. Inconceivable.
But also, Alex, to be fair to those cable networks, the president isn't even talking about Puerto Rico. He spent most of that time that the Roseanne Barr story was breaking, tweeting about that and tweeting about the fact that this is about him and not even about the racism that she exhibited on her Twitter feed. And so, from the very top of American leadership down to, we can blame the cable networks, but the president is the commander in chief. He's the leader of the free world, and he's not talking about it.
No, I mean that's right. But I think in that it raises a question of as journalists, is the responsibility to cover the stories that are not being covered, but which need to be covered, to hold power to account, right? Instead of sort of following what power is saying, it's shedding a light on what power is doing or not doing. And I think in the Puerto Rico case is a pretty clear example of what power was not doing, which is acting more decisively to save the lives of U.S. citizens.
It's a great point. Alex Kliment, always great to have you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The pleasure's mine.
You can check out all of these stories and more by subscribing to the Signal newsletter. Sign up for it at GZEROmedia.com.